Lewis Show. Nice to have you with us. Later on after the 10 o'clock news, Kevin Cole will be here with a couple of other guests about a new opportunity, concert opportunity coming up and some other things going on. And at 11 o'clock this morning, we're going to learn about an MLK book drive from Nicole Liggins. But for this hour, old friend is paying us a visit. He's been doing this for many years with us, but not as frequently as I'd like. But I drug him out of his business this morning. He has Nectarline Watch Repair, and he is the one and only Dick Graining.
How you doing, Art?
I'm doing all right. How you doing, Dick?
I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there.
It's the old goat show. Here we are.
Oh boy. I was thinking about that, and I can remember you and Sue coming for the cookbook sale.
Oh yeah,
at the jewelry store
That's
on
right.
Michigan.
That's right.
Yeah,
Those were the days.
we were
But
a little.
probably been doing
We
this
were a little
40
younger.
Probably 40 years.
Yeah, at least.
But I think we've been doing this about 40, 45 years.
Yes, it has been.
Talk about collecting and fixing pocket watches and wrist watches. And collectible industries, they're like a roller coaster, aren't they?
Oh yeah, yeah. It goes up and down.
Pocket watches, they ride a high, and then all of a sudden you can't give them away, and then you can't find the ones you're looking for. It's
Right now we're in a low. It's a great time to buy pocket watches or wristwatches, but it's a bad time to sell them.
Is that true for the upscale stuff too, the Patek Philippe's and all that stuff?
No, they seem to be hanging in there.
Isn't it amazing
It is.
that the high-priced, super-priced stuff, like
Yes.
$10,000 more watches,
Yes.
they sell. Expensive cars are selling,
Yes.
but yet the stuff that is in the average collectible realm,
Yeah. No, they have these. They'll run a series of wristwatches now. The company will maybe make half a dozen of them, and that's it. And they're all sold before they make them.
and these are all mechanicals.
Yes.
Well, that's like Ferrari. We're only going to make 799 F80s, but guess what? You can't buy one. They're accounted for, and they're multi-million dollars.
You can go into the showroom and they won't sell you one.
Well, they won't sell you one anyway. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to be on their list and buy X number of
yes.
other ones.
The same thing's true with watches.
Oh, is it really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they'll make a series of, like I said, maybe they'll only make 6 or 10 of them, and that's it. And they go to collectors.
Well,
They go to people that have experience with that brand.
so let's say who's one of the top brands? Patek Philippe, one of the
Patek Philippe, yeah.
top. Okay, so Patek Philippe decides they're going to make a watch. They'll make 6 of them. Okay.
Right.
How does that differ from the previous 6 they made? Are the movements different? Is there something different about them that separates them?
They're usually a different design, a different engineering, different finishes. I had one come in earlier this year, and it was from a company called International Watch Company, which is an old company in Switzerland, and they make real high-end stuff. And the guy
IWC.
brought it in, and I can't remember now what they called it, the series, but it was a wristwatch, and it had day, date, month, year, moon phase, and it was all perpetual, meaning mechanically it would be correct for 200 years. So at the end of at the end of February, it would flip to the 1st, not to the 30th. And at the end of the year, it would flip to the next year, mechanically.
That's amazing.
Think of the engineering.
Today, like right now, I'm wearing a Samsung smartwatch.
Sure.
It's also a phone. I mean, it's Dick Tracy.
Right. Yes,
If
Dick
my
Tracy.
phone's not with me, this rings and I can answer it.
Yes.
And it's deadly accurate because it works off their system and off satellite, what have you.
Yeah.
Can mechanical watches keep up with these watches today?
No, the truth of the matter is, You can, and I often tell people this, you can go buy a Timex quartz. Not to pick on Timex, because
That's all right.
Timexes are a good watch for certain use.
For the dollar value, yeah.
Yes. And, $59, Indiglo, lights up in the dark. That's going to keep better time than a $40,000 Rolex. But that's not the point. The point
it's no
is
stature in having a Timex
that
on.
watch, like the one you're wearing, when that finally quits, the electronics and
It's
all
dead.
that, it's dead. You throw it away.
Yeah.
But a mechanical watch, 200 years from now, you can fix it. And
If you
that's-
can get the parts.
Well, you can make the parts because it's mechanical.
That's true. Yeah, that's right.
You can make the gears. You're not going to make that circuit board for your Samsung.
No.
No. And that's the difference. Quartz watches are great. They keep perfect time.
I also have a collection of
But when they go, they go.
I have a collection of Citizen watches.
Mm-hmm.
I have three of them that are radio controlled
Right?
that reset to the NIST,
Yes.
and then I have a satellite,
Yes.
and you just push a button, hold it for 2 seconds, and just watch the watch, and 20 seconds later, boom, jumps right up.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What I liked about this one, the Samsung, though, for the fact that it's also the phone, I just went across country on train, so we went through 3 time zones.
Yes.
So did the watch. I didn't have to worry about it.
No. No. No.
I could watch it change.
I have a tragic story about that with a Rolex, and the fellow was down in the Caribbean, him and his wife, and they were going through time zones, and he reset his, and it was a Rolex GMT. This is waterproof to,
Right.
1,000 feet. But he didn't screw the crown back down tight when he reset it. And
Oops.
then he went swimming in salt water
With the watch.
with the watch. And he couldn't find anybody down there that had a wrench to get it open, because Rolexes have a very unique wrench to open them up. And so he waited till he got back, and then he brought it
late.
in.
Too late.
And it was $6,000 later. He had a new used movement put in his watch. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that was
Little things, huh?
the worst one I think I've ever seen.
Listen, if you have any pocket watches or wristwatches you want to know something about, remember Dick is sitting here in the studio, so he can't look at it, but he can put you in the right direction maybe to find out. I can tell you, I brought in to show Dick my grandfather's Waltham Railroad watch, and I went online and found the case, found the serial number, put it in, found the history of the watch. It's amazing what you can find out today.
Oh, it's amazing. I've had my first Omega coaxial, which is a whole different kind of movement, and I had my first one come in for cleaning, and I thought, okay, now how do you take this apart without hurting anything? I went online. I watched a YouTube video,
Even a watchmaker.
and there it was.
All right, we're going to take a break, and then we will be back with Dick Graining from Neck to Line Watch Repair.
I'm Chris Velasquez. My favorite.
Pocket watch. It's his uncle's railroad watch, and my grandma had put a little note in there that this was your Uncle Riney's and it's to go to Bill. And so now I've just given it to my son, who put it in a safe. But it's very beautiful and all gold. And I just wondered, what does that mean, a railroad watch? Did they give them these watches, or did they buy them from the railroad? Or
No,
how did that work?
no.
Oh, see, are you sitting down?
Railroad watches were required by the railroad if you were an engineer, or what did they call the other guy in the cab?
Conductor. Or fireman.
The fireman.
Yeah.
You had to have a railroad grade watch because it was the only method to keep trains from running into each other in the middle of the night or even the middle of the day.
So what did the railroad grade signify?
It signified the watch had to be, generally speaking, a minimum of 21 joules, and it had to be adjusted to 5 positions, meaning if the watch was in a different position, it would keep the same time as it would in the other position. And they were very fine watches. They were as good as anything made today. And they're absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Art has his grandfather's here.
Yeah, Waltham
And
Crescent.
it's a 21 jewel Waltham. It's absolutely beautiful. Gold jewel settings. But they were required. They had to have 21 jewels. They had to be adjusted to 5 positions because they had to keep real good time. So, like I said, the train didn't run into each other in the middle of the night.
Oh, that's really interesting. Back in the day, during the Depression and all of that, nobody really had anything, so I just figured, well, they probably just made them buy some watch when they worked on the railroad or
They
something.
did make them buy it, but the railroad would finance it for them because even back then they were expensive.
But the point is, you couldn't go out and buy just any old pocket watch. It
No.
had to be certified for railroad.
Yes, it did. And the railroad would take a couple bucks a month out of your pay to pay it off. And even back then, they were $80 or $100.
Well, I know my dad's uncle didn't have much, and he talks about how he would buy him a candy bar on the way home from wherever he worked on the railroad. And
Sure.
So I just wondered what the history was. Like I say, I just passed it on to my son, and it's in a safe, but we never really
that's
use
good.
it or anything.
Yeah, if it's around town here, bring it in, and I can tell them to bring it in, and I can tell them all about it.
Well, I would love to do that, and I certainly will. And thank you so much. It's really been enlightening.
All right.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for calling, Marcy.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye now. Who were the big railroad watchmakers?
Well, it was different parts of the country, different ones, but around here you seem to see, I've always seen more, probably Hamiltons. There was a lot of Hamilton Railroad watches around here. Your Waltham with that sunk balance wheel is pretty rare around here. I might see one of them every couple years. Where the Hamiltons, I'll see them, I'll see
Regularly.
8-10 a year. They were all pretty much equal, but there were some, like Hamptons. Hamptons were nice looking, very pretty, but they didn't work quite as well. I'm talking nowadays.
Yeah,
they
right.
they don't work quite as well. South Bend is another one that comes to mind. I would say that the top ones were Waltham, Illinois, and Hamilton around here.
Yeah.
Because Hamilton was Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Waltham was Massachusetts, and Illinois, of course, was Illinois.
Yeah.
But that seems to be what you see the most around here.
Why did they make so many models? My grandfather's watch, I put the serial number in and looked it up. But there was a piece online about Waltham Railroad watches.
Sure.
And they said, well, in the Crescent Street, which I have here, the
Yes.
21 jewel, there's an 1891, an 1892, an 1894. There's 5 or 6 different models, to which they said the one that most collectors are looking for appears to be the 1892.
Yes.
Which happens to be what my grandfather's was. But what's the difference? Why, if I opened up the back of an 1891, would it look different than an 1892?
Slightly, yes.
Oh, it would.
Oh, yeah. It's a good question. Why did they make so many different models? Because it's made the repair of them nowadays very difficult. Because the companies like your Waltham there, originally you had a different mainspring for every model.
Oh.
Nowadays, there aren't that many mainsprings being made. So we have to deal with one mainspring that's got to go in that watch. Well, so if you got a mainspring that's a little bit stronger than supposed to go in the watch, now you've got to manipulate the balance wheel to slow it down because the spring's too. And that's complications that have happened nowadays because they just don't make all the parts they used to make. But yeah, there's all different models, and a lot of times the parts won't fit. This part from an 1891 will not fit. It'll be slightly different. The pivot size will be a few thousandths different. Why they did it, I don't know. I've never heard a good answer on that.
They must have had a reason. Somebody scratched their head and said, I have a better way to do this. Let's make another model.
It's probably just like cars. Why won't the
Yeah.
water? Why won't the water pump off this one fit this one?
Yeah.
You know, it's some. You know, I always think about what was the Cadillac North Star with the starter down inside the engine?
Yeah.
Who dreamed that up?
Somebody who wished they hadn't, I think.
Yes. And watches are the same way. You get some engineer sitting there and he's going, boy, let's do this. And then you get a guy like me 100 years later that's trying to fix it. And you're thinking, why did he do this? Why, it's just, yeah.
So, when it comes to watches, what makes one watch worth $20,000 and another worth $200?
Well, I'm wearing a Seiko Prospect today.
Okay.
It's a really nice watch.
Is it electronic or is that a manual?
It's automatic.
It's an
Self-winding.
automatic,
It
self-winding.
ticks.
Okay.
Watches are supposed to tick.
Yeah, I know.
And it has a 26 joule movement in it.
Whoa.
All right. But the finish on it, I mean, this is a wonderful watch.
Yeah.
That's why I'm wearing it. But the finish on it, if you open up the $20,000 Rolex, just as an example, and you look at the movement in the Rolex, there's way more work that went into just finishing it.
Just to polish
It's like, I've never liked abstract art, you know, as a comparison. I've never liked, it looks amateur to me. Compare that to a Monet, which is absolutely beautiful. Mm-hmm. And it's the difference between my Seiko movement and the Rolex movement. It's just not finished. All that extra work that goes into finishing them. It's like that Audemars I was telling you about that came in. The movement in that watch was an absolute work of art.
Every little piece polished. And, yeah.
Oh, every little piece.
I look at the back of this Waltham, and it really is nice.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, they're beautiful. It's handwork is the big difference.
Yeah.
You know, you get a watch like a Rolex, that's completely hand-fitted and finished. Then you get a watch like an Audemars, that's completely handmade.
Parts and all.
Yeah. Where the Rolex, it's a production line, but everything is hand-fitted and hand-finished. Where the Audemars, everything's handmade, then hand-fitted and finished. So it's you pay for handwork.
Well, that's true. And it's the difference between a Rolls-Royce car and a one-off-the-line anybody else car.
Yes. Yeah, it's hand-fitted and finished, and costs a lot of money to do.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're talking to Dick Graining from Nectarline Watch Repair, and we'll tell you where to find him and all that good stuff before we're done. If you have any questions about pocket watches or wrist watches, give us a call. And let me take a moment to talk about my friends at Quick Lane Freeland, right next to McDonald Ford. It's part of the McDonald Ford complex. It's where you get all your routine maintenance done, but it's also where you should go to buy your tires because they sell all tires at just $5 over cost at Quick Lane Freeland. And you know, there is a difference between winter tires and your all-season tires. And I've asked John from Quick Lane Freeland to talk about that.
Hello, Art. Yes, winter tires are made with a pliable rubber compound that includes silica to stay flexible and maintain grip in freezing temperatures. Unlike harder all-season tires, which stiffen and lose traction in the cold, this flexible compound allows the tire to better conform to the road surface, providing superior grip and traction on snow and ice to keep you safe.
Thanks, John. Stop in today, have them check your tires, have them check your cooling system while you're there, too. And walk over to the McDonald Ford lot, take a look at all the new Fords available from McDonald Ford, as well as their pre-owned lot. McDonald Ford and Quick Lane Freeland, these are two names that stand ready to help you with all your automotive needs in 2026.
Gotta go.
Is there an actual expected lifespan
lifespan on those electronics in there?
Well, the answer is yes and no. Using it as an example, look at your flat screen TV. You may buy one and it'll work fine for 10 years and then quit. You may buy one, which I just had an experience with. It worked fine for 22 years before it quit. Electronics are subject to, now Zodiac uses higher grade, parts. Zodiacs are a high grade watch. So I would imagine they would last longer, but eventually they're going to quit.
Okay, so there's no reason not to wear it. I mean, it could just sit in a drawer and it could eventually quit.
Yes.
Okay.
You could take the battery out of it and let it sit, and it's not going to age then if it doesn't have power going through it. But, why not use it?
Right. Yeah, I do wear it.
Sure.
I don't swim with it anymore. I used to go in the water with it. I don't do that anymore.
No,
But,
and with the Zodiac, it's hard to, with a lot of different brands, it's hard to get a new, on that watch, typically the thing that will leak is the crown. You know how you set the watch? That's called the crown. And the O-rings in them, get abused just from being bumped and banged and using. And that's usually what leaks on a watch is the crown.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling. And let's talk to Ed in Rose City. Ed, you're on with Dick Graining. Good morning.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the chance. This is going to be a little bit different than what you guys are talking about. Now, my brother passed a few years back and left me his Seiko watch. It's called a Seiko Kinetic.
Yep.
And something about where you wiggle your wrist or something that winds it. Well, it
doesn't
really
wind
work.
it. There's a weight inside, and when you wear the watch, the weight will spin around from your arm movement. And that runs a little generator in a Kinetic, and that little generator recharges the battery.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, that's how a Kinetic works.
As opposed to a mechanical.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so it's very likely then the battery has failed because if you shake the heck out of it, you might run for a minute or 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then it's gone.
Right. You need a new one.
New watch or new battery?
Well, it's actually a condenser, but yeah, you need a new, it's not a battery as such, it's a condenser, but yeah, you need a new one. I replace them all the time.
Okay, that was my final question. Can it be fixed?
Yeah.
Tell everybody where you're located, Dick.
Yeah,
Good
I'm
time.
on Hamilton Street in Old Town Saginaw, 301 South Hamilton. I'm, about 2.5 blocks from the Saginaw County Courthouse.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure we can find it, but I've stored this thing all these years because I didn't know where to take it. People look at me and say, "Oh,
now you do."
now, oh yeah." So I appreciate the show that Art puts on.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
it's good, isn't it?
Yes, I pretty much listen every day, and
Thank you.
This watch segment just caught my ear this morning, and I've been sitting here on.
Hey, it's interesting because it caught mine too. Because I saw Dick the other day, and I realized we hadn't done it in a long time, and we always get calls,
Right.
so
Yeah.
we'll have to do it more often.
Well, anything beats the political.
You got
up and
that.
down.
Used to spend a lot of time up by Rose City when I was young. That was one of our favorite places as a family to go camping, was up there.
Yes, it's a very nice city, small,
Yep.
very,
Yeah, wonderful.
very.
How's your weather?
Well, thank you. I tell you what, since that ice storm last spring, it's
Still
not been
suffering,
good.
huh? Yeah.
Oh, that was a
All
mess.
right, Ed. Thanks for your call and thanks for listening.
Thank you very much, and take care, guys.
You too. Bye bye now. Quick break, and we'll be back with Dick Graining.
How do you afford the things you need?
And we're back with you, talking to Dick Graining from Nectarline Watch Repair at 301 South Hamilton in Saginaw. You also have, over the years, worked on grandfather clocks.
Oh, yeah.
Are they as prevalent today as they were at one time?
Well, let's put it this way. Howard Miller Clock Company closed at the end of December.
And they were the big ones.
They were the biggest one in America. And they closed up. He used, it was still owned by Miller family. But he said that first, one of the things was the tariffs, because most of his movements were German. And the other one was he couldn't find craftsmen. He couldn't hire the people to build the cases, to build the clocks. Wow. And so he decided to just close up. So 300 people in Michigan were put out of work as of January 1st. I still sell quite a few pre-owned ones. You know, I'll get old grandfather clocks and I'll fix them up and get them working good and sell. I sell quite a few pre-owned ones, but you know, as compared to 3,000 new and 700 used with a full year warranty, I don't have much problem selling them.
I have to believe too that there's some manufacturers use a production case and put a quartz movement in it.
Oh, they do.
Just to look like
Howard Miller did at the end.
Did they really?
They were making some quartz movement grandfather clocks. They even chimed and everything through a little speaker. And I don't know. But you know, everything what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
And right now, if you look at, you know, like Architectural Digest magazine, they're not showing many houses with grandfather clocks in them. They're showing them with these big 3-foot diameter, 4-foot diameter wall clocks that are battery.
Yeah.
So that's what's popular right now. But I think everything that goes around, I've been around long enough now, and so have you, Art.
Yeah.
You've seen stuff come and go and then come back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's the stuff that goes that worries me.
Yeah, I know.
Because the stuff that comes back usually isn't as good as the stuff that left.
It isn't, but in the watch world, it is. It's just that, you know, like your Waltham Railroad watch there. Well, think about it. Back then, that was $100 watch.
Back then?
Yeah, and a guy had worked an entire week to make $4.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, we're going to go to Mount Pleasant here and talk to Mary. Mary, good morning.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning.
I listen every day to your talk show.
Thank you.
And I love it, and I get lots of tips from it. I have, and I'm just tuning in a little bit late today to your show, so I don't know if you've covered this. I apologize. I have like a mantle clock that was my grandmother's. She was born in 1893, and I believe it's called a painted clock.
Painted.
And painted. It's wood, but the inside, and it's painted with flowers all around it, like roses. And it survived a farm fire, her farmhouse fire, but it doesn't work. Is that something you would be interested in? I know there was a key that she'd have to turn it on. I just have it sitting on.
Yeah.
Key wind, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Sure, I'd be happy to work on it for you. I've done fire restorations before, and the smoke gets in them, and it's very sticky, and it gums them up real bad. I've done quite a few fire restorations for different companies around, and they're always like that.
They're always I've had it for so long that smoke smell is gone.
Yeah.
Grandma's been gone like 45 years. So
sure.
The smell may be gone, but the deposits probably weren't.
Yeah, the